Hello, me again, back with another review. I really should get a better intro than that. Right, this is album number 7 in the Beatles catalogue, I think. I've lost count, to be honest. This one, Revolver. Revolver, Revolver, Revolver. Called Revolver because that's what a record does, it revolves. This album, what a game changer this album was. Released in August of 66 and recorded from April to June of 66, I think it was, at Abbey Road. Produced by George Martin, engineered by Jeff Emerick, all that good stuff. This album is a masterpiece. I know I've said that now about the last two, but this one is a masterpiece as well. George once said that he's seen this and Rubber Soul as kind of Volume 1 and Volume 2. This came out about 8 months after Rubber Soul. The difference between the two is immense. It really is. This album is something else, really. That's the back. You can't really see much. There's nothing much on the back. Yeah. The album was... I can never pronounce the guy's name. So I'm going to butcher this here. This is designed by Klaus Vermoen. Probably pronounced that wrong. The guy they knew from Hamburg. Yeah, and it's on Parlophone as usual, as they always were at this point. Anyway, let's get into the actual track listing. When it came out it went to number 1, as you would probably imagine they always did. It was originally actually called Abracadabra, this album, but yeah, it got changed to Revolver. Love this cover, really do. So side 1 opens with Taxman. This is the only Beatles album ever to open with one of George's songs. This one George wrote. He sings lead. He wrote this about the government and the tax that they had to pay. And Mr. Harold Wilson, who was the Prime Minister at the time, and Edward Heath, who was leader of the opposition at the time, both get a little shout out in this song. These days it would be Mrs. May and Mr. Corbyn that would get a shout out. But yeah, really like this song. Great song, really good one, really good opening song. And it's also got a little counting as well. First time since Please Please Me that it starts with a 1, 2, 3, 4. I like it when albums do that. Then we go into another masterpiece, Eleanor Rigby, Lennon McCartney song which Paul sings. John claims he wrote this, but he didn't. This is a pure McCartney song. But then, you can say, well, Paul claims he wrote Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. He didn't. John wrote that, clearly. In the same way Paul clearly wrote this. There's no way John wrote this song. But Eleanor Rigby, masterpiece. Story of all the lonely people. Where do they all come from? Where do they? The lyric Father Mackenzie was actually originally Father McCartney, but Paul had it changed. Or he changed it. I think I'd have preferred Father McCartney, to be honest. I think it'd be a nice little shout out to himself. Anyway, after that we go into I'm Only Sleeping, Lennon McCartney song which John sings. This is really the first experimental song on the album, with backwards guitar and all that stuff. Really like this song. You're going to hear that with everything on this album. Really, really like this song. To be honest, every song on this album is good. John, this was him at his peak. Paul at his peak. George at his peak. Even Ringo, even though he didn't write anything on this album, but still, Ringo is on his peak. Is at a peak as well at this point. They're all at their peaks. Definitely their peak as a band. This from 65 to about 67. So helped through to Magical Mystery Tour was their peak, in my opinion. After that, we have Love You Too, George's second song of the album that he's wrote. He sings lead on as well. This song, Indian song, loads of sort of mystical sounding Indian instruments, sitars and all that stuff. Really like this song. It's actually quite peaceful, but if you listen to the lyrics, they're not exactly the most happiest of lyrics. There's people standing around who'll screw you in the ground. They'll fill you in with all these sins you see or something like that. But yeah, I like the song. It does seem, the sound of it sounds very peaceful. Anyway, then we have Here, There and Everywhere, Lennon McCartney song which Paul sings, another McCartney classic, this one. Perfect vocals, perfect harmonies, just a perfect song all round. And Paul recently said in May of last year, I think it was, in his Master Tapes interview that he did with Radio 4, he said this was his favourite Beatles song. And to be honest, and he said it's the perfect song. It is a perfect song. There's absolutely nothing you could change about that song, about Here, There and Everywhere. Perfect vocals, perfect lyrics, perfect sound, everything. Anyway, after that, we have Yellow Submarine, Lennon McCartney song, which Ringo sings. This one everybody knows. It's a kid's song, this one. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure, I'm not going to lie. I used to think it's a terrible song, but now it has grown on me over the years. Now, I liked it when I was a kid. Then I sort of thought, nah, don't like it. But I like it now. And it also features a lot of people singing backing on this one, more than just the Beatles. Brian Jones sings on it. Brian Epstein, George Martin, Patti Boyd. I think Cynthia Lennon, maybe? I think Jane Asher? I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, it's a kid's song, and yeah, I quite like Yellow Submarine. It is probably, weirdly enough, the most iconic song on this album. It's one of the most iconic Beatles songs. Anyway, after that we have the closing song of side 1, She Said, She Said, Lennon McCartney song, which John sings. Again, really like this song. Really, really like this song. One of my favourites possibly on this side. Again, big change lyrically, you know. She said, you don't understand what I said. I said, no, you were wrong when I was a boy, you know. Quite complex lyric, you know. It's, well, not complex as such, but, you know, they're pretty different compared to what they'd been writing and what everyone else was writing at the time. I think the drugs were helping a bit, because by this point they were all on pot, and John and George were also on acid at this point. Paul wasn't, which is why Paul's songs are a bit different on this album compared to John's. Paul didn't get onto acid until the next album, but yeah. Anyway, then we have side 2, which opens with Good Day Sunshine, Lennon McCartney song that Paul sings. This is probably my least favourite song that Paul sings on this album, but I still really like this song. I think this one is the one that Paul played live on the International Space Station when he did that a few years ago, which was a logical song to do, Good Day Sunshine. But yeah, this is an upbeat song, this is a happy song. It's nice to have some happy song with happy lyrics on this album. You know, I need to laugh, and when the sun is out, I've got something to laugh about. Or something like that, so maybe I need to smile. Anyway, after that we have And Your Bird Can Sing, which is of course slang for And Your Girl Can Sing. Lennon McCartney song, which John sings. I really like this song. It's a pretty fast one. It's over in a minute and a bit. Well, just short 2 minutes. But really good song. Really like She Said... No, not She Said. And Your Bird Can Sing. After that we have For No One, Lennon McCartney song, which Paul sings again. Perfect song. I think Paul's just on this one. A bit like yesterday, it's just him on his own, I think. But great song. You know, Cried For No One. It's a love that should have lasted years. Possibly written about Jane Asher. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But again, perfect. Perfect song. After that we have Dr. Robert, a Lennon McCartney song, which John sings about his dealer, his drug dealer at the time. Day or night, he'll be there any time at all, Dr. Robert. He makes you a better man, he does everything he can. You know, when you know what these songs mean, you know, if you don't know what they mean, they'll sound a bit weird, but when you know what they mean, and it's about drug dealer, it makes a lot of sense, Dr. Robert. But yeah, really like this song. Good one. Then we've got I Want to Tell You, George's third and final song on the album that he's wrote. Yeah, I like this song. It's kind of the most live sounding song, the fact how it sort of builds it up. Like, it starts off quiet and then the guitar builds up. Yeah, I really like I Want to Tell You. One of my favourite George songs, actually. Then we have Got to Get You Into My Life, probably along with Yellow Submarine, one of the most iconic songs on this album, because of the orchestra, you know, the do-do-do-do-do-do. Lennon McCartney song that Paul sings, Paul's last song on the album. Seen him do this one live as well. I've also seen him do Eleanor Rigby live. Yeah, I really like Got to Get You Into My Life. Really happy, upbeat song. It's one of them ones you can't help but smile at that song. And then after that we have Tomorrow Never Knows, the closing song of this album. Lennon McCartney song. John sings this. But just imagine being alive when this song came out. It must have been just immense, that song when it first came out. And it'd have been so mind-blowing because nothing had ever been done like this song before. And then here it is. And the lyrics and everything, you know, turn off your mind, relax and float downstream. It was originally called Mark 1 as well, I think. Tomorrow Never Knows came from Ringo as well, one of his sayings. But yeah, and that concludes Revolver. A lot of people will say this is the best Beatles album. For me, it's always a toss-up between, this is, depending on the mood I'm feeling, it's either this or the one that came after it, which is Pepper, which will be the one I review next. But yeah, it turned 50 last year, I think he said this year, but it turned 50 last August, and yeah, it aged really well, and people will still be listening to this in another 50 years' time, 100 years' time. Absolute masterpiece. So yeah, anyway, see you on the next review for Pepper. Bye.